What a surprise. We're actually sitting in the chair on time because it's been a wild, wild day of football. The Denver Broncos drive for perfection. Did it stall in the Big Apple? Ooh, you'll have to watch PrimeTime next. Coming up on NFL PrimeTime, the unbeaten Broncos gallop into New York to face a team looking for a giant upset. Can the Red Hot Pats march through lowly St. Louis? Will the playoff-hungry Bucs steal one from Pittsburgh? The hard-hitting Dirty Birds soar to New Orleans to face the stingy Saints, while Randy Moss and the Vikes storm into Baltimore. Can Flutie keep Oakland from raiding Buffalo? And the tailor-made Jags look to strike oil at home against Tennessee. All this and more on NFL PrimeTime. Coming right up. Hello once again, everybody. I'm Chris Berman, and welcome to Week 15 of NFL Primetime. On a day in football they will look back on for a long, long time. As with me, as always, as he's been for 12 years, Tom Jackson. And I think we all learned something.
Interesting day of football,
yes,
to say the least. All
the way around the horn. And where we usually save some of the biggest for the end, but since this is so big, let's kick the ball off. Well, you know the stakes. 13-0 with the Denver Broncos. They'd won 18 straight dating back to last year. So they're after a record 19 straight wins. If they could do that, they were tied with 4 other teams, 18 straight wins. The Broncos had never won 14 games in their franchise history. Only that perfect 1972 Miami Dolphin team had started a season at 14-0. The Broncos could accomplish all of that today in New York against the sputtering 5-8 New York Football Giants, a season of disappointment, not defending in the NFC East. And it was all set up for next week. Denver at Miami. Monday Night Football, the penultimate week, with all the ghosts, perhaps, on the Miami sidelines. It was all set up for an easy Bronco win. But we got a reminder that that's why they play the game. Jim Fossil, John Elway, very close back to their Stanford days. Fossil also an assistant earlier in the 90s with the Broncos. And Kent Graham had Fossil's offense working. Touchdown to Kontiki Barber, sailing into the end zone, 21 yards. The Giants take an upset lead at 10-6 at the half. Graham, Ike Hilliard, fumbles, looked like he was going to about the 30-yard line. Broncos recover first play, fourth quarter. Broncos next possession. Michael Strahan, the Pro Bowler, 13th sack of the year, fells Elway. 2nd and 17. Elway trying to make something happen. Pretty pick by Sean Williams.
Yeah, great read by Sean Williams of John Elway's eyes.
First play of the Giants drive, Gary Brown, his banner now crosses midfield. Steve Atwater, forget it. Tyrone Braxton, forget it. Tanavasa, forget it. 45 yards for Brown inside the 20-yard line. But the Broncos actually fall in New York. Brown to the 3, the 2, the 1. Oh, Darian Gordon strips him of the ball. Broncos recover. But offsides called on Ray Crockett, so the Giants still alive on the drive.
Yeah, you take a look at where the ball is, just across the 5-yard line, closer to the 4. Ray Crockett's feet are on the 5-yard line, his head hanging in the neutral zone right there.
2 plays later, after another penalty, Alfred Williams half the distance to the goal. 3rd and goal for the 1. Oh, the Bronco defense stuffs Brown. Crowd yelling, go for it. Fossil says, no, we kick it. Field goal, Deluiso, 13-9. Then Terrell Davis, 7.5 minutes to go. Goes out at the 40-yard line, running left behind Tony Jones and company. Watch him break a tackle here. Downfield blocking. Griffin, McCaffrey, 27-yard touchdown, just like you thought they would. The Broncos take the 16-13 lead. 4 minutes to go. Graham.
Howdy, ho.
Chris Callaway, there they go to the 38. Next play. Gary Brown, who has played so brilliantly. Looks like he's deep into the secondary, but it's a fumble. Recovered by Bill Romanowski after Braxton makes the play.
Yeah, Gary Brown with good hustle down the football field. Looked like he was just about to break another one. Braxton, a good job of stripping the ball out right there. Couldn't get on top of it, but good hustle by Romanowski to make the recovery.
Broncos next possession. They don't give it to Terrell Davis, they give it to Howard Griffith on 3rd and 3. Marcus Buckley stops him for a loss. Broncos have to punt, but it's mishandled by Toomer, and so the ball is way back at about the 12-yard line. Kent Graham, the slant to Callaway, $1:49 to go. Graham has scrambled about 20 yards to midfield. Graham to Joe Jurevicius, out of bounds. First down at the 38 to the chagrin of Mike Shanahan. 57 seconds to go. Graham to Amani Toomer. Makes the catch. No, he's out of bounds. Wait a minute. We got to confer. Did he juggle? Did he get the feet in? Touchdown. 20-16. The Giants. Let's take another look.
This is a great catch by Armani Toomer. You see him cradle the ball in, get both feet in, and you see him plant himself, and the official to the backside couldn't see that he definitely had the football.
Tito Paul is beaten, and now the master of the comeback in the fourth quarter, John Elway. 41 seconds to go. He comes on the field on 2nd and 10. With Fossil pumping the crowd, the completion to Ron Smith. Oh, it's the hook and ladder, except he doesn't ladder it. Down to the 41-yard line. They decide not to use their last time out there, and then 12 seconds to go. 2 plays later, Elway. Willie Green, color of money. First down, 5 seconds to go. One last chance from the 31. Elway. Time. Lost. 8 guys are there. Incomplete. The Giants reach back to the team that were last year. The Broncos march towards history is stymied in the Big Apple, where so many dreams are made and broken. Not that 13-1 is a bad consolation prize, but the Giants, with a $112 running from Gary Brown and a big game throwing from Kent Graham, 265 yards, so many in the clutch, and 5 for 99 to Chris Cab Callaway. The Giants stop the streak this year at 13. Afterwards, plenty to talk about.
We've got some high expectations, and it was a disappointment that we weren't able to win every game we go into. Obviously, we want to win.
My hat's off to this ball club. They came out today, and they had an excellent game. They played good. They played hard. A good defensive game. They just made one play more than we did, and they deserve to win.
Playing against the undefeated team, I think everybody's talking about next week in Miami. We didn't want the network to actually have a good rating because that would have been a record. So our thing was to go out and play spoiler. We're able to do it today. But I tell you what, this is probably the biggest victory we've had since I've been here.
If we would have been undefeated, it would have been a nice, throw in there. But, now we're not. The season's not going down the drain. I know that.
No, it's not. First of all, Michael Strahan as the pregame and halftime host of ABC's Monday Night Football. Thanks for cutting into our rating. First of all, Tommy, to the Giants, we got a major glimpse back at the type of ball they played last year when they won the NFC East, and we know they have a good defense, and they played under control, and as you point out, up here.
Well, let's begin with an outstanding game plan from Coach Fossil. And you remind people this is the way they won last year. They had the outstanding running game from Gary Brown, less than 20 carries, 118 yards. So he sustained them on the ground. They had an outstanding day from Kent Graham, the quarterback. They played the game with enthusiasm. They kept pressure on John Elway throughout the game, so he never had a chance to get comfortable in the pocket. And you'll hear people say that they made one more play than they did, but when you look at the complete game, the Broncos were outplayed through the majority of that game, and that loss could have been more than, a couple of points. It could have been as much as 10 points.
I was in Denver this week. Of course, they'll never have me back now. But I will. And look, you don't ever want to lose. And you're a ball player. You know it better than me. But I think in the long run, when you look back at it, the pressure on the Broncos every week, even though they tried to focus on just one game at a time, was really starting to mount. Now they can gear up. They're trying to be undefeated in January.
Well, that's what Pat Bowlen told me initially, is that I care about being undefeated in the playoffs. But you look at the last 3 games, San Diego, Kansas City, in this game, you could see that pressure building, and you could see how difficult it was for the Broncos to maintain the same kind of emotional level that their opponents was giving them every single week.
Our congratulations to the Broncos for allowing us all to think about what might have been in their march toward history. And our congratulations to the Giants for playing a big-time ball game when they had really nothing at stake. And they played the biggest-time ball game offensively in the fourth quarter. Almost 400 yards of total offense, the most given up all year by Denver. 217 of the 392 came in the fourth quarter. The Giants earned the win. The Broncos have earned our praise.
Inside the Numbers is brought to you by Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be.
The rest of the schedule goes this way. The Saints were weary of staying out of the playoff hunt. They had a chance against the Falcons. Steelers, Bucks, loser in trouble. Winner, still hopeful to get in. Who would win in the rain at the new sombrero?
Is not a drill. Move it. Go over there. You. Come on, let's go.
An electric heater, a master mechanic toolbox set, or a 43-piece tool set. Bargain of the month. It's a very, very big deal.
Nice hustle, kids. You too, honey.
Dan Henry Hansen lives in Lusk, Wyoming.
When I grow up, I want to be a rancher.
He taught his dad how to use Microsoft Excel spreadsheets to manage cattle.
One thing my dad's taught me is not to be afraid to change.
Technology is helping the Hansens ensure that their ranch will still be here when Dan Henry is ready to inherit it.
I always heard that if you have the job you have fun doing, do that for life.
Big-time Sunday night football here on ESPN. The Jets and Dolphins for supremacy, the AFC East. Vinny Testaverde, can he continue his great run? We go from the Broncos to the Bengals. Bengals, Colts, and this is an old-fashioned Santa barbecue and Montgomery ribs. Well, I'll tell you what, who was doing the ribbing today? Marshall Faulk. He's got a 2,000-yard, all-purpose yard season already. 80 yards rushing in the first half for the Colts. Peyton Manning to E.G. Green, 23-6. Colts at the half in a battle of 2-11 clubs. Now 24-12 in the third quarter. Manning, great grab by Torrance Small. 39-26 the final, as Peyton Manning now has 24 touchdown passes, breaking the rookie record of 22 that stood for 50 years. By Chuck and Charlie Connerly of the New York Giants back in 1948. By the way, Manning the first Colt quarterback to throw for 3,000 yards since Burt Jones of the Baltimore Colts in 1981. Peyton is on his way. Another game of draft import. Redskins, Panthers. Redskins own the Panthers' first pick. Skip Hicks, touchdown. He had two early, 21-3 Washington. Panthers defense getting a talking to. Linebacker coach Kevin Steele talking to Kevin Green, and watch what happens. Green does not like it and had to be separated.
Yeah, and from a player's perspective, we'll never know exactly what the argument was about, but Kevin Green has been the one guy who has sustained that defense throughout a bad season.
Tom Capers talked to him for several minutes. I'm sure he will levy some sort of suspension. We'll see. He said he might, but Green continued in the game. But Stanley Richard made the interception with the score 28-25, and the Panthers have lost another close game. Carolina falls to 2-12. The big thing is Washington owns Carolina's pick. So either Carolina or Cincinnati right now would get the second pick. Of course, expansion Cleveland gets the first pick next year. Washington ran for 160 yards to continue their late season resurgence. When we return, Arizona in the playoff hunt needed a big game from Adrian Morrell. They got it. Will they get a win against the Eagles? Raiders going one way, Bills going the other way. And it's not pictured right here. That's your hint. We'll be back.
Well, just come on down.
Just come on down to Cole Muffler.
Here at Cole, we honor all muffler specialty shop warranties.
So bring your car to Cole, even if you bought your muffler somewhere else.
And we'll replace it free. Why do we do this? Because your satisfaction is our #1 priority. So come on down.
Come on down to Cole Muffler. Come on.
Next card's possession, Adrian Morrell, 23 of his 174 yards. Setting up, Chris Jackie for the game-winning field goal, 34 yards out. But he